first of all, happy Diwali to all of you. So today we are going to learn two important terminologies. One is RLD, which is also known as the reference listed drug, and RS, which is also known as the reference standard. Now these two terminologies become very important the moment you start working in the generic industry, and there are times people get confused between the two. So we are going to understand it very clearly so that there won't be any doubt. So without wasting further time, let's get started. So let's have some background first. So safety and efficacy, they becomes very important when it comes to any pharmaceutical drug product, and that is the reason whenever a innovator they submit an NDA or a new drug application, the first thing that they need to show to the regulatory agencies, that is the safety and effectiveness. And how they show this thing, they basically conduct clinical trials. So as you all know, there are 4 phases of clinical trials, and through those 4 phases of clinical trials, they give the evidence to the regulatory agencies that their product is safe and effective. But the thing is, when it comes to a ANDA or generic drug product, they do not need to conduct independent evidence of safety and effectiveness. I repeat, a generic drug product, they do not require to provide independent safety and effectiveness studies. In short, they do not need to conduct the clinical trial. Instead, the applicant they relies on the FDA's finding that the innovator drug product is safe and effective, and we as a generic, we are just similar with the innovator drug product. So what are the ways an ANDA drug product they has to show that it is similar with the innovator drug product? Let's look into that one. So our generic they have to show that it is similar with the innovator in terms of its API, in terms of its conditions of use, the route of administration, the doses from strength, the bioequivalency, and the quality and the manufacturing process. So till now we have understand two very important points. The first one is that for an ANDA drug products, they have to show the safety and effectiveness study, safety and effectiveness. And for an ANDA, they do not need to conduct this thing, rather they have to show the Q1 Q2 similarity or the formulation similarities. The second, they have to show the bioequivalence. So this is very important. Now let's understand what is a listed drug. So any drug product which is approved under the ANDA, whether it is a 505(b)(1) application or 505(b)(2) application, and the drug it is still in the market or it is not being withdrawn from the market due to the safety or effectiveness reason, it is a listed drug. The drug product which are approved under ANDA is also a listed drug. All these listed drug will be there in the Orange Book. Now, if you are new to the Orange Book and don't know how to search, I have made a detailed video on that. The link you can find on the I button. Now, one thing to keep in mind here is that each strain of a drug product will be an independent listed drug. And this point is very important, and I'm going to explain it in my upcoming slides. Now let's understand what is a reference listed drug or the RLD. So by definition, an RLD for an ANDA is the drug product that the proposed generic drug is intended to duplicate and to which the ANDA applicant must refer to his NDA. So in short, whenever a generic pharmaceutical company they apply for ANDA application, they have to mention the name of the listed drug which they are referring and which they are duplicating, and that is why it is also known as reference listed drug. So the important point keep in mind is that the drug which is designated as the RLD or the reference listed drug, they have proved their safety and effectiveness. So these RLDs, they're approved for their safety and effectiveness. And in the Orange Book, you can find these RLDs. There is a separate column which is given for the RLDs. You can find, go and search the Orange Book and you can find these details. Now let's understand what is a reference standard or RS. Okay, so by definition, the reference standard selected by FDA must be used in conducting any in vivo bioequivalence study required for the approval of the ANDA. That means, as I've explained, whenever a generic company they apply for a ANDA, they have to show that it is similar with the innovator drug product or the reference listed drug, the drug it is going to refer. Now it has to show similarities in terms of two things. First one is the Q1, Q2, and second it has to show the bioequivalence. Now to show the bioequivalence, they need one standard against which it can show that it has the same rate and extent of availability of the drug at the site of action with that of standard. And this standard is nothing but the reference standard. Now you might be wondering that if for the Q1, Q2, I am referring or I am showing the similar to the RLD, then bioequivalence also I can show the RLD, right? Yes, absolutely right. For the bioequivalence studies, you can use the reference listed drug, but it is not necessary that always you have to use your RLD, because there are cases where your reference standard is different and your reference listed drug is different. And we are going to understand those scenarios today. And the second point important here is these RAs, they are also identified in the FDA's Orange Book. Now let's discuss some of the points which are very important. So first one is that FDA generally select a single reference standard to ensure the greatest level of consistency between the generic drug and the RLD. That means if the RLD, which is if it is still marketed or if it's still in the market and is being sold, then FDA will select it as the RLD. That means your RS will be nothing but your RLD. But in case if it is being discontinued from the market other than safety and effectiveness reason, then in that case FDA will select a different approved product as the reference standard. Now the point that you have to note here that if the RLD is being discontinued from the market other than safety and effectiveness reason, now there are many reasons that a RLD can be discontinued from the market. For example, if the drug is not performing as it was intended, the company can itself make the decision to remove it from the market, so it can be goes into the discontinued section. Or if somebody done a petition against it and it got passed, then it can get removed it from the market. So in those cases, yes, FDA will select a different product as the RS, right? But if it is get discontinued from the market due to the safety and efficacy, then FDA will not appoint a RS. In fact, FDA is not going to review any ANDA for it. Now, if the FDA is going to select a different drug product to serve as the RS in case the RLD has been discontinued from the market other than safety and effectiveness reason, then how the FDA is going to do that? Let's look into that one. So in this case, the FDA generally select a previously approved ANDA products that are referred to and therapeutical equivalent to that RLD to serve as the RS. Now you might be wondering that by the time the RLD got discontinued from the market, there might be many ANDAs in the market, right? For example, if the RLD is A and by the time it got discontinued from the market, there are X, Y, Z. There are three generic which are already approved. Then how the FDA is going to select which one is going to be served as the RS? Now the FDA generally select based on the generic market leader or based on the commercial data. So out of these three, which one is the generic market leader or having the best commercial data in the market, that will be selected as the RS. For example, if Y is the best one out of these three, that will be selected as the RS. Now, whenever a RLD got discontinued from the market, FDA generally determines why it is being removed from the market, and those determinations generally published in the Notice of Federal Register. So as ANDA, it becomes your responsibility that before submitting your ANDA application, if your RLD is being discontinued from the market, you have to go and check that Federal Register whether it is being discontinued from the market due to safety and effectiveness reason. And if you find out that it is not registered in the Federal Register, that then in that case you have to submit a citizen petition asking FDA to determine why it is being removed from the market. Now why this is being important so much? Because in that case, if it is being found out that the drug has been discontinued from the market due to the safety and effectiveness reason, ANDA FDA will not review the FDA. Also, it will not approve the NDA. So there is no point in submitting the NDA in that case, right? And that is why it becomes very important for the applicant to check your whether your RLD is still on the market or not, and if it is being discontinued, for what reason it is being discontinued from the market. Now the thing is, if suppose you, as an NDA you have checked all the things that it is being marketed still well, you have filed out the NDA, but during the review process the RLD got discontinued from the market, then as a NDA applicant it is not your fault, because if you have checked from your side, right, it is working. But in that case, it becomes FDA's responsibility to check whether or why it is being discontinued from the market before it can give approval to that particular NDA, right? This point here, it summarizes everything here which I have explained to you now. So there is your RLD and there is your RS, right? So whenever as a generic applicant you are applying your NDA, you have to show Q1, Q2 similarities or formulation similarities with the RLD, as well as you have to show bioequivalency. And to show bioequivalency, you can use one standard, that the RS. Now, if the RLD is still marketed, your RS and the RLD will become same. Okay, that means you can use your RLD to show the bioequivalency. But in case where the RLD has been discontinued, in that case, your RS will become a previously approved NDA drug. Okay, so you have to show your Q1, Q2, your formulation similarities with the RLD, okay, not with the RS, because previously people, the applicant, they have become confused totally and they have shown their Q1, Q2 similarities with this product. No, you don't have to do that. You have to show your Q1, Q2 similarities with the RLD, even if it is discontinued from the market, other than safety and effectiveness reason. For the bioequivalence to show the study bioequivalency, you can use previously approved the product. So this point explains here, right? Now, what if your RS get discontinued from the market? Then what to do? In that case, if the RS also get discontinued from the market, the FDA generally select a new RS or new previously approved drug. But in case the FDA has not selected, the applicant can ask for a, to the FDA through a control correspondence to ask FDA for a new reference standard. And there are also other cases where the applicant can ask the FDA to select a new RS. For example, FDA has selected a new RS and the applicant is not satisfied, then also the applicant asks FDA to change the RS. And also, if the RS quantity available in the market, it is so low that the applicant cannot use it to conduct the bioequivalence studies. In that case also, uh, the applicant can ask FDA through a control correspondence to change the RS. So this is all about the RLD and RS, although it is a very small topic, but it is very important to understand the differences between the two. And if you have learned anything new, please hit the like button and subscribe and hit the bell button, because I keep posting these videos. See you on the next one.